ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Dear friends, we are in this Prashnopanishad, the fourth Prashna and the fourth mantra. The fourth Prashna is leading us from the analysis of prana to the analysis of the Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti. So that is what we have seen. And this Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti we are about to enter, and we are somewhere in the middle of this Bhashyam under say fourth mantra. This fourth mantra is about, there were a few questions posed by the student to the teacher, and this fourth mantra is an answer to the question that is Yeduchvasa Nishvasa Veta Vahuti. Okay, this is in continuation of which are the gods which are awake, which are the gods which are awake in the body. So in the earlier mantra he told about three Pranagnayaha. You know this Pranagni. Pranagni is Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. These are compared to the five Agnis in the body, and which are always awake. Which are always awake means which always function in the body. Otherwise a person will be dead. The Indriyas, the sense organs may take rest, the motor organs may take rest, and even the sense organs may take rest, and also the mind can rest. But these Pranagnis have to continue. Otherwise the person will be pronounced dead. So this Prana-Agni we are now seeing. And then the Upanishad has drawn a comparison between, not comparison, it has metaphorically described the whole activity of these pranas to that of a yajna. So it is metaphorically compared to a yajna. And then in this yajna there are several components. So like that, what are the components here? So Apana is compared to Garhapatyagni. Then Prana is compared to Ahavaniyagni, and the other Agni, that is Vyana. Vyana is compared to this Dakshinagni, because in that Dakshinagni that Anvaharya Pachanam or cooking takes place. So I explained about those three fires. One is that Garhapatya fire, Gruhapati, that is the boss of the house, that is the lord of the house. So that is related to Gruhapati, that is Garhapatyam, it is always there. And then Ahavaniya, whenever you are offering oblations, you don't offer oblations directly into Garhapatya Agni, it is done into Ahavaniya Agni. So where Ahutis are offered. Then again, that is only for offering Ahutis. Then for cooking, there is another Agni, that is called Dakshinagni. So Anvahariya Pachanam, for cooking etc. Cooking means not ordinary cooking of food, cooking of various Purodasha. Some Purodasha has to be prepared. The Purodasha is not prepared in the kitchen normally. Purodasha is also prepared there in the Dakshinagni, and again it is offered somewhere, offered in the Ahavaniyagni. So there are three different functions for these three yajnas. And it is called Dakshinagni because one is, it is towards Dakshinam. If you visualize the house, any house, of course, any house you enter, we see which is the east, which is the west, south, etc. Towards the south, this fire is there, that is called Dakshinagni. And one fire is there, and another fire is Ahavaniyagni. So it is almost like a triangle, it seems, a sort of right angled triangle. These three Agnis are kept in a house. So then, these three Agnis are told in the third mantra. And the next mantra is talking about the two other Agnis, that is Samana and Udana. Samana is comparable to Hota. Samana Vayu is comparable to Hota. It is because it is equally distributing the entire, all this, whatever inhalation, exhalation, etc. It is equally distributing all over the body. So that is why it is called Samana. Samam Nayati iti Samanaha. Then Udana. We are now discussing this Udana. We are now discussing this Udana, and in this line we were, where this line we completed. Samam samyena sharira sthiti bhavaya nayati yo vayuhu agnisthaniyopi hotacha. Agnisthaniyopi hotacha. That is, Agnisthani, though it was earlier compared to a Agni, it is also the Hota. It is also the person who drops the oblations into the fire. So, ahutyoho netrutvat. Then kosausa samanaha. This line we read. Atasya vidushaha swapopi agnihotra havanameva. This is again a good statement which we saw. Vidwan. Vidwan here refers to a upasaka, not a realized person. In the case of Brahmagyana, when you say Vidwan, it refers to a realized person, Atmagyani. Here he is not an Atmagyani, he is an Upasaka. He is doing Upasana in that way. And Upasana, we know, is a type of Shastriya Adhyasa. Shastriya Adhyasa means it is a sort of, Adhyasa or superimposition which has been permitted by the Shastra. It is in accordance with the Shastra. It is according to some particular procedure. It is not some sort of arbitrary adhyaropa. It is not some sort of quixotic, arbitrary superimposition. It is something which is salagrame Vishnu buddhihi. There is some sort of similarity between the thing you are taking, the object which you are taking, and then the object which you are visualizing. So that is on that analogy. There should be some sort of similarity, some sort of analogy has to be there. So that is what is being discussed here. Then atasya vidushaha swapopi agnihotra havanameva. This line we read. Then tasmad vidwan na akarmi ityevam mantavyaha ityabhiprayaha. This vidwan means upasaka. He is not akarmi. He is also doing a karma. So that is something which has to be kept in mind. Then this line we have to read. Sarvada sarvani bhutani विचिन्वन्ति अपि स्वपते इति हि वाजसनेयके. Okay, Vajasaneya refers to Brihadaranyaka. Brihadaranyaka also corroborates this thing, saying that all these Sarvani Bhutani, all the beings, Vichinvanti means they all perform yajna for the sake of person, for the sake of this Swapate, for the sake of this sleeping person. Swapate, Chaturthi Vibhakti, Swapan, Swapate. For the sake of or rather in the case of a sleeping person, or for the sake of, that is better, for the sake of the sleeping person, all the Sarvani Bhutani, Vichinvanti, that is Agni Chayanam Kurvanti. It is, Chinvanti is Chinoti Dhatu, Chinvanti, that is, they do Agni Chayanam. It is as though all these beings, all the organs, they are cooperating with this whole body, and then they are doing this Agni Chayanam. Though the person is sleeping, all other organs, they are functioning. It is as though they are performing yajna according to some sort of predestined arrangement, whatever it is. So that way, Vichinvanti api swapate iti hi vajasaneyake. So I think we read this line. Atrahi jagratsu pranagnishu upasamhrutya bahyakaranani vishayanscha agnihotra phalamiva swargam brahma jigamishuhu manohavava yajamano jagarti yajamanavat karyakaraneshu pradhanyena samyavaharat Swargamiva Brahmapati Prasthitatvat Yajamano Manah Kalpyate. So now we are now talking about Manas. We talked about Apana, Vyana, Prana and Vyana in the earlier mantra. So far we talked about Samana. There is one more Vayu remaining, that is Udana, will come next. But in between he is talking about the Manas. Before taking up Udana, he is talking about the Manas. Then Atrahi means, while this is so, while this is the overall arrangement which is happening, Jagratsu Pranagnishu Upasamhrutya Bhashyakaranani. Jagratsu Pranagnishu means, while these Pranagnis are awake, that is Sati Saptami. Jagratsu Pranagnishu Satsu, that is, while all these Pranagnis, that is Prana, Apana, Vyana, etc. are all awake, Upasamhrutya Bhashyakaranani. Then Upasamhrutya means by withdrawing all these organs, sense organs, bahya karanani. All these instruments are bahya only, isn't it? Whether it is sense organ or motor organ, they are all bahya karanani only. Unless kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmana vaichat, unless you are looking inwards, they are all bahya karanani eva. Bahya karanani vishayanscha, and also rejecting all these sense objects. And they are all upasamhrutya, they have all been absorbed in the mind. And then agnihotra phalamiva swargam, agnihotra phalamiva swargam. What is the phalam of agnihotra? Swargam. While doing this agnihotra, phalam is swargam. And in the case of this particular person who is doing this, whose mind is absorbed in the sushupti, so the whole process is compared to a yajna, isn't it? In the yajna, normally the phalam is swargaloka. But here, what is the phalam? The phalam is manas is getting absorbed in atma. Manas is getting vilinam. It is getting absorbed in this atman. It is losing its identity and then it is in the atman. So that is the thing we are seeing here. So, agnihotra phalamiva swargam, that is agnihotra phalam swargam iva. That swargam iva, you interchange it. Agnihotra phalam swargam iva. Just as in the case of an agnihotra, the phalam is swargam. Here what is the phalam? Here the phalam is Brahma jigamishuhu manaha. This manas is Brahma jigamishuhu. Brahma jigamishuhu means it is moving towards the Brahma. It is merging into Brahma. Brahma jigamishuhu. Jigamisha is Gantumicha is jigamisha. Jigamishuhu manaha. So he is quoting that line, Manoha vava yajamano. Manaha is indeed yajamana. Well, how is that yajamana? First of all, he is explaining that word yajamana. That is jagarti, yajamanaha jagarti, yajamanavat karyakaraneshu pradhanyena samvevaharat. That is, just like a master controls all the people. Yajamanavat karyakaraneshu. In the case of this karyam, the body, and in the case of all these organs, sense organs, this mind is the thing which is master of all this, both sense organs and also the motor organs. So, yajamanavat karyakaraneshu. Karyakaraneshu means in respect of these karya and karana. Karyakaraneshu saptami, in respect of, in that sense. In respect of this karya and karana. Pradhanyena samyavaharat. It is working in a very important way. Pradhanyena. It is showing its importance. Pradhanyena samyavaharat. It is conducting itself with all glory and its power, pomp and power. Pradhanyena samyavaharat. And then here what is it? What is the phalam? Swargamiva brahma prati prasthitatvat. Like this swargam, this agnihotra phalam is swargam. And here in this particular case, brahma prati prasthitatvat. This manas is moving towards the mind, this is Brahma. This mind is getting absorbed in this Shuddha Chaitanya. Mind is losing its identity. What is mind? Mind is that notion of I. That notion of I is it is totally getting absorbed in this Shuddha Chaitanya during the case of sleep, deep sleep. So that is what is being shown here. Brahma prati prasthitatvat. Prasthanam means travel. Prasthitatvat means it is moving towards Brahma. Prasthanam, Mahaprasthanam we say. Prasthanam is Prasthanatrayam we say. Prasthanatrayam is threefold journey. That is Prasthanam is journey. So Prasthita means Kwa Prasthitaha. Suppose somebody says Kwa Prasthitaha. That is where are you going? Kwa Prasthitaha. So this is Brahma prati prasthitatvat. This is Manas is moving towards the Brahma. Prasthitatvat. Yajamanaha manah kalpyate. That is Manaha Yajamanaha iti kalpyate. That is, it is being visualized that mind is the Yajamani. So we have seen so many comparisons between what are Pranagnis and also the mind and also the Pranagnis and mind on one hand and Yajna on the other hand. Then now we are coming to the Yajna Phala. We are left with one more Vayu, that is Udana. Now we have to talk about that Udana. Earlier also we have seen the function of Udana. What was the function of Udana? Utkramanasya hetuhu. Utkramana. That is, Utkramana means when the entire thing, body leaves, Sukshma Sharira leaves this body, it is this Udana. All the organs, they get collected in the mind, and then mind is located in the prana, and prana with the help of Udana, it travels to another body. We saw in an earlier mantra, I think second mantra also. Prana this subtle body, getting say settled in that prana. With the help of udana, it reaches another body. So ut-ana, ut means up, udana, that is moving up. Ana actually means life, udana, this thing which leaves the body. So that is udana. So here also the same similarity is shown here. So then ishtaphalam, what is this ishtaphalam? Yaga phalameva udano vayuhu. Let us read it. Ishtaphalam. Yaga phalameva udano vayuhu.
Yaga phalameva udano vayuhu.
Udana nimittatvad ishtaphala praptehe.
Udana nimittatvad ishtaphala praptehe.
Katham. Sa udanaha. Manakhyam yajamanam. Swapnavrutti rupadapi prashyavya. Aharaha sushupti kale. Swargamiva brahma aksharam gamayati. Ataha yagaphalasthaniyaha udanaha. So now we are coming to the ishtaphalam. Ishta means not as though we are desiring and all that. Ishti, you must have heard about ishti. Putrakame ishti, kari reshti. Ishti means a yaga. Ishti means a yaga. Ishta phalam means the fruit of that yaga. Not that something ishtamena phalam, I like this fruit. It is not something according to liking. Ishta means it is yaga. So that is what Shankaracharya is noting. Ishta phalam, yaga phalam. Ishta phalam is yaga. Ishti means yaga. Devatodeshena dravyatyaga yaga, isn't it? So, ishti also you are ishti, kari reshti, putrakame ishti and some other ishti. So, these are the ishtis. Ishti means a yajna. Then, yaga phalameva udano vayuhu. How? Udana nimittatvad ishtaphala praptehe. Then it is because of this udana that the body is rising from this and then it is going to Swargaloka. If a fellow is destined to go to Swargaloka, it is with the help of this udana vayu that he is going to that Swargaloka. So on that similarity, udana is compared to yajna phala. So udana nimittatvat, it is because of this udana. Udana is the karanam. Nimittam means karanam. Udana nimittatvat means because udana is the karanam for that ishtaphala prapti. That is Swarga. Ishtaphala prapti in the case of Swargaloka, it is udana which is conducting it. Then Katham, he is explaining, Sa udanaha. Here what is the similarity? There of course we were talking about Utkramanam earlier. Now we are not talking about Utkramanam. We are only seeing the metaphor of yajna. This sleep of a upasaka is compared to a yajna. So that is the metaphor. So in this metaphorical relationship, what is the similarity? So that is what we are seeing. Sa udanaha manakhyam yajamanam swapna vrutti rupadapi prachyavya. So there is swapna vrutti. Vrutti means it is basically a mind modification, isn't it? Swapna vrutti. It is a mental say frame or a thought frame, let us say. Mano vrutti. Swapna is basically a mano vrutti. Even when you are seeing this, the very fact that I am seeing something is a mano vrutti. I am cognizing something, it is a mano vrutti. Then when I am asleep also, so many things come to my mind. They are all mano vruttis only. So from that mano vrutti rupadapi prachyavya, slowly allows it to slip away. Prachyavya, chyavanam. Shyuti, you know the word shyuti? Not is falling down, slipping down. Achyuta. One swasthanat chyutihi nasti. So he doesn't slip away from his position, he is strongly fixed. So achyuta, how you say? Shyuti means slipping away. Chyavanam. So prachyavya. Prachyavya means making it slip away. Nidraloki jarukovadam, we say in Telugu, the correct word is Nidraloki jarukovadam. Prachyavya. That is making it slip away, slipping into. So slipping into deep sleep. So that is it. Prachyavya. Aharaha sushupti kale. Every day. Prachyavya, what does it do? Prachyavya brahmagamayati. By making it, by allowing it to slip away from this sleep also. From what? From this swapna vrutti rupadapi prachyavya. So this fellow is in this swapna vrutti. So even from that swapna vrutti, this udana takes him away and makes him to slip down into deep sleep. makes him to slip down into deep sleep. So from that point of view, Udana is very important for us. Manakhyam Yajamanam. Who is the Yajamani here? Mind is the Yajamani. So he makes this Yajamani to slip from that, to slide away, let us say, to slide away from that manovrutti rupa, that dream state also, and then slip into deep sleep. And then in that deep sleep, Swargamiva Brahma Aksharam Gamayati. Swargamiva. In the case of Yaga, it is Swargam. But here, Aksharam Brahma. In the case of Yajna, it is Swargam. In the case of this person, sleeping person, it is Aksharam Brahma. So this Akshara Brahma Prapti is happening to everybody in deep sleep. Not only for a wise man, even for a fool, it takes place. So of course, that is what he is going to say that. So is this line clear? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Manakhyam Yajamanam. So Manakhyam Yajamanam is in Dvitiya Bhakti. That is, he leads this Yajamani into Sushupti. This Udana leads this Yajamani into Sushupti by making this Yajamana to slip away from that Prachyavya, by allowing it to slip down, slide down into deep sleep. So that is what. And deep sleep, and then it is Brahma Gamayati. It is leading it to Akshara Brahma, where the mind loses its identity. The basic point is the mind is something which loses its identity in deep sleep. So that is where we have come. So from the analysis of physical body, from the analysis of all these pranagnis which are always awake in the body, we have now come to discuss manas. And we are now the first understanding, or first thing we are coming to know is that this mind is slipping into Brahma during deep sleep. This mind loses its identity in deep sleep. So that is where we have come. So now we will continue. Evam vidushaha Shrotradyuparamakalaad arabhya You got it?
Yes, sir.
Yavat suptothito bhavati
यावत् सुप्तोत्थितो भवति
Suptothito bhavati
सुप्तोत्थितो भवति
Tavat sarvatyaga phalanubhava eva
तावत् सर्वयाग
sarvayaga phalanubhava eva
तावत् सर्वयाग फलानुभव एव
na avidushamiva anarthaya iti
न अविदुषामिव अनर्थाय इति
vidvatta stuyate.
विद्वत्ता स्तूयते.
So now this vidvatta stuyate. Vidvatta means upasanam. Now this upasanam, we are now not talking about Brahmagyana. We are now talking about the earlier upasana which has taken place all the while. All the while we have been seeing pranopasana. Pranopasana means whatever bodily functions are taking place with the help of this prana, 5 pranagnis, we are now, we were only discussing that phala. So that was the thing which was going on all the while. Phalanubhava eva. Now this line is, evam, in this manner, vidushaha. Vidushaha means, again for this upasaka, Shrotradyuparamakala arabhya, right from the time when, Uparamakala, so from the time when this Shrotra etc. getting absorbed into the mind. That is, Shrotra etc. they have got absorbed into the mind, but mind is still active. Shrotra etc. they have become, they got absorbed into the mind, and the person has gone to sleep, but the mind is still there. Then yavat suptothito bhavati. Till the time he rises up, yavat, till the time suptothitaha. Suptothitaha means suptat uthitaha. From the deep sleep he is awake, isn't it? From the deep sleep he is awake. That is, resume after getting up. Suptothitaha. Suptothitaha means one person who has freshly risen up from sleep. Yavat suptothito bhavati tavat sarvayaga phalanubhava eva. So that sarvayaga phalanubhava eva. So every man, he is getting that sarvayaga phalam. What is that sarvayaga phalam? Sarvayaga phalam is moksha prapti. Swarga prapti at a lower level, and at a higher level it is moksha prapti. So everybody is getting this sarva yaga phalam unasked for. Sarva yaga phalam eva. But then in the case of a vidwan, na avidushamiva anarthaya. In the case of a avidwan, he is not realizing it. So that is why in the case of an avidwan all this is useless. In the case of an avidwan, in the case of a person who does not have this prana, this yajna bhavana, the basic idea is yajna bhavana in the functioning of all these pranas. So if you don't have this yajna bhavana in the functioning of these pranas, then all this is useless. His mind is going into that Brahma, he is not even aware of it, so that is as good as useless. So then in that sense, na avidushamiva anarthaya. Anartha means useless. Artham means use, purpose. Anartham means useless. Anarthaya. Iti vidvatta stuyate. Vidvatta means upasanam. This upasanam is being praised, eulogized. Then nahi vidushaha eva
नहि विदुषः एव
श्रोत्रादीनि स्वपन्ते
श्रोत्रादीनि स्वपन्ते
प्राणाग्नयो वा जाग्रति
प्राणाग्नयो वा जाग्रति
जाग्रत्स्वप्नयोः मनस्वातन्त्र्यम् अनुभवत् मनः स्वातन्त्र्यम् अनुभवत्
जाग्रत्स्वप्नयोः मनः स्वातन्त्र्यम् अनुभवत्
अहरहः सुषुप्तं वा प्रतिपद्यते
अहरहः सुषुप्तं वा प्रतिपद्यते.
Okay, he Shankaracharya is again saying that it is not only in the case of a vidwan, but in the case of everyone that is happening. So nahi vidushaha eva. It is not only for this vidwan, that is upasaka. It is not only for the upasaka that these shrotradini, all these organs called shrotram, etc., they go to sleep. Pranagnaya va jagrati, all these pranagnis, etc., keep awake. And then jagrat swapnayoho manaha swatantriyam anubhavat. In this jagrat and swapna, mind is swatantra. Mind is independent. Independence in the sense karta. Swatantra karta, there is a Panini Sutram. Swatantra karta. Now this swatantra, whenever this word swatantra is here, in this particular context, we are referring to kartrutvam. In this jagrad avastha, mind is a karta. In this swapna avastha also, the mind is the karta, because the mind is creating that whole swapna scene, the whole scene it is creating. So swatantriyam anubhavat means experiencing that particular swatantram, experiencing that kartrutvam. Then aharaha sushuptam va pratipadyate. Aharaha, every day sushuptam pratipadyate. Every day it also goes into sushupti. Maybe sometimes we may not get sushupti, but still the point is every day there is a jagrada avastha, there is a swapna avastha, there is a sushupti avastha for every being. Sushuptam va gamayati. Samanam hi sarvapraninaam paryayena jagrat swapna sushupti gamanam ato vidvatta stutireva iyam upapadyate. So he is clarifying, samanam hi sarvapranina. It is there, it is common. Samanam means it is common. Sarvapraninaam idam samanam. For all the beings, it is all. This is common. What? Paryayena, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Gamanam. Paryayena means by turns. By turns you are going into Jagrata Avastha, into sleep, into dream, and then again you are into deep sleep. Paryayena, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Gamanam. Attaining those particular states. Ataha, therefore, Vidvatta Stutireva ayam upapadyate. So this particular statement is only about Vidvatta Stuti. That is in order to praise this upasaka. In order to praise or eulogize this particular upasana, pranopasana, that it is something better than some ignorant person totally not being aware of what is happening in his body, what are these pranagnis. Instead of that, this man is aware of what is this pranagnis, and he is getting that yaga phalam actually by that awareness. In fact, the whole thing is about bhavana only. Everything rests with bhavana. Even when you go to a temple, suppose our mind is not at all there, then the phala will not be there. So, unless there is some bhavana, you are going and then you are praying there. Or when you are in our own house, when we are doing a prayer, the bhavana has to be there. Suppose you say, Avahayami, you are inviting the gods, but your mind is elsewhere. It is like inviting a guest and then you are not present there. So, it is like that. So, like the bhavana is very, very important. So, from that point of view, this upasaka is the one who is there in that yajna bhavana. Who is there in that yajna bhavana, he does that upasana, and then because of that upasana, he has that yajna phala. Then, next question, he is coming to next question. Yat prushtam katara yesha devaha swapnan pashyati iti tadaha. Okay, now who is this deva? Which is this vital organ which is this, say, intelligent organ, let us say, Deva, Dyotanavati is, isn't it? Dyotanarthakam is connected with intelligence, associated with intelligence. Katara yesha Deva Swapnan Pashyati. Who is that Deva who sees the dream? Which is that, say, entity which sees the dream? Ityaha. Now this is an introduction or avatarika for the next mantra. Atra uparateshu shrotradishu
अत्र उपरतेषु श्रोत्रादिषु
देहरक्षायै जाग्रत्सु प्राणादि वायुषु
देहरक्षायै जाग्रत्सु प्राणादिवायुषु
प्राक् सुषुप्ति प्रतिपत्तेः
प्राक् सुषुप्ति प्रतिपत्तेः
एतस्मिन् अन्तराले
एतस्मिन् अन्तराळे
एष देवः
एष देवः
अर्करश्मिवत् स्वात्मनि संहृतश्रोत्रादिकरणः
अर्करश्मिवत् स्वात्मनि संहृतश्रोत्रादिकरणः
स्वप्ने महिमानं विभूतिं
स्वप्ने महिमानं विभूतिं
विषयविषयिलक्षणं
विषयविषयिलक्षणम्
अनेकात्मभावगमनम्
अनेकात्मभावगमनम्
अनुभवति प्रतिपद्यते.
अनुभवति प्रतिपद्यते.
Okay. Atra means in this particular state. In this particular state, what state? Vidusha, Shrotradi, Niswapante, Pranagnaya, Jagarti. In this particular state, all these Shrotra, etc., they are withdrawn. Then Pranagnis only are functioning. So in this particular state, Uparateshu Shrotradishu, when this Shrotram, etc., are Uparata means they are withdrawn. And then Deharakshayai, Jagratsu, Pranadi, Vayushu, all these things is Satisaptami. While these pranagnis, these pranadi vayu, pranagnulu, these pranagnis, while they are awake for the purpose of protecting the body, deha rakshayai, for the purpose of preserving the body, deha rakshayai, for that, then prak sushupti pratipattehe, that is, before a person slips into deep sleep, prak sushupti pratipatte, prak means before, prak sushupti pratipattehe, before a person slips into deep sleep, then etasmin antarale, in between that, in between this jagradavastha and sushuptyavastha. When does this dream take place? In between jagrada and sushupti, isn't it? Yeah. So that is what it is said. Etasmin antarale, in between these two, that is in between this jagrat and sushupti, yesha devaha. Yesha devaha means we are referring to the mind. Yesha devaha, this particular mind, arkarashmivat. Arkarashmivat, this is Surya when he goes to sleep, when he adarshanam gachati, when he sets, when the sun is about to set, all the rays as though they get absorbed in him. Solar orb we have seen, etasmin mandale eki bhavanti, something like that we read. So something similar to that. Arkarashmivat, Arka means Surya. Surya Rashmivat, like all the Rashmis they get absorbed in the solar orb. Similarly, Swatmani Samhruta Shrotradi Karanaha, Bahurihi Samasa, Swatmani Samhruta Shrotradi Karanaha, one in whom all these Karana, all these sense organs, they are all Samhruta, Upasamhruta. Samhruta means Upasamhruta, they are all withdrawn. A person in whom all these organs, they are all withdrawn. Withdrawn where? Withdrawn into the mind. Atmani, we are now talking about the manas, isn't it? Atmani, that is in self. Yesha devaha, this deva is mind. Devaha atmani upasamhurta karanaha, that is this mind in itself, it is something, all the karanas, they are absorbed in it. So that is the meaning. Upasamhurta karanaha. Then swapne, in that dream, mahimanam pashyati. What is this mahima? Mahimanam means vibhutim, he says. Mahima, you must have heard about the words like Anima, Mahima, Garima, etc. Ashtasiddhi. Anima means becoming very tiny. Mahima means becoming very mighty. Garima means becoming very heavy. So various siddhis. So this Mahima is used in somewhat that sense. Mahima means his limitless capacity, greatness. What is this limitless capacity? Vibhutim. Vibhuti also you know the word. Vividham bhavanam, that is appearing as many and then in many different forms. Vividhakarena bhavanam, that is what it says. Vividhakarena, the one person becoming in many shapes. Vibhutim, what is that vibhuti? Vishaya vishayi lakshanam. Vishaya is object, vishayi is myself. When I am looking at an object, I am the vishayi, I am the observer, and that is the observed. So here in this dream, the mind itself is the observer and the observed. The mind, there is no other thing, there is no other person there. The mind itself is the observer, the mind itself is the observed. So Vishayi Lakshanam. So this itself is the Vishaya and this itself is the Vishayi, observer and the observed. Then Anekatma Bhava Gamanam. So it is becoming as many. Anekatma Bhava Gamanam means becoming many. Atma Bhava Gamanam. It is appearing as many. Anekatma Bhava Gamanam. Anubhavati Pratipadyate. It experiences that particular state where he is the observer and also the observed, and it is becoming many. One is becoming many, and that is the Vibhuti, that is the Mahima. Swapne Mahimanam Pasyati, that particular line. Okay, then Nanu
ननु
Mahimanubhavane
महिमानुभवने
Karanam Manaha Karanam Manaha Anubhavituhu
करणं मनः अनुभवितुः
Tat Katham Swatantriyena Anubhavati Ityuchyate
तत् कथं स्वातन्त्र्येण अनुभवति इत्युच्यते
Swatantro hi Kshetrajnaha.
स्वतन्त्रो हि क्षेत्रज्ञः.
So this particular line is Purvapaksha, small Purvapaksha, a small doubt. But the doubt is, you see, mind, you say that mind is also Swatantra. Mind is independently seeing all this. But according to your Vedanta Siddhanta, Kshetrajna is this here. According to Vedanta Siddhanta, Kshetrajna is this here. Kshetra, Swatantro hi Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is the Karta, isn't it? But how is it that you are saying that Manas is the Karta? So that is the question. So now, Nanu Mahimanubhavane Karanam Manaha Anubhavituhu. Anubhavituhu is Shashti Ekavachanam for Anubhavita. Anubhavita means the experiencer. Anubhavita is experiencer. Anubhavituhu is Shashti Ekavachanam. For the experiences, the mind is only a tool, isn't it? For the experiencer, the mind is only a tool. Mahimanubhavane, while experiencing this particular Mahima, while experiencing all this glory which has been displayed in the mind, in the dream, which has been displayed by the mind in the dream, this Karanam, the tool, is Manas only, isn't it? Then Katham Swatantriyena Anubhavati. Some people say like this, some people question like this. Katham Swatantriyena Anubhavati, how is it independent? After all, Swatantro hi Kshetrajna. In fact, Kshetrajna is Swatantra. Mana is not Swatantram. Na Manaha Swatantram. So that is the question. Is it clear? Mind is not Swatantram according to your Siddhanta. Kshetrajna is the observer. Mind is only a tool. So Kshetrajna word also here we have to examine because we have seen Gita Bhashyam, so you know Kshetram what it is. But somebody who has not heard Gita Bhashyam, the word Kshetrajna needs explanation. So in this 13th chapter of Gita, if you recapitulate, that is called Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. So then Kshetram. For the Kshetram, Lord Krishna says, Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramityabhidhiyate Etadve yo vetti tam prahu Kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. In one line it is. Then again next shloka also it says Tat Kshetram Yacha Yadruksha etc. Explanation goes on. So Idam Shariram Kshetram, that's what he says. This body is Kshetram. So when you say this, you are referring to it as something apart from yourself. When you say something as this is a pen, this is a phone. When I say this, I am using it in a notion of duality. That is, it is different from me. I am something different. I am the knower and that is something which is known. I am the druk and that is the drishyam. Observer and the observed. There is a sort of duality in the whole process. So then, whatever is distinguishable from me, whatever can be isolated from me or separated from me is drishyam. So this body is something which is something which can be seen apart from me. So I say my body. So my mind also is something. First of all, we start with our possessions. First of all, we start with our possessions, all our properties. Suppose I say I have a house. House is not me. House is mine. My relative, my father, my mother, my son, etc., they are not me. They are related to me, maybe in a social context, but they are not me. Then again, when it comes to my own body, finally we come to our own body. When it comes to our own body, the grossest thing is Sharira. we say that okay, this is not me, because you are able to see them as Drishyam. Then again, when it comes to mind also, you realize that okay, this is my mind. So this mind also can be isolated. Mind is something which has that notion of I with an ego, etc., etc. All that thing is there. So that is a social identity. It is somebody who belongs to a particular social category. So all that thing, identity is there with that mind. Then Kshetra, all this is called Kshetram. Whatever can be isolated. The meaning of Kshetram also we have to know. Kshetram, what is Kshetram? Kshatat trayate iti Kshetram. Kshatat narakalakshanat trayate iti Kshetram. We have seen the definitions in 13th chapter. That is Kshatat, from say a damage. Kshatam actually means a hurt, a damage. What is that hurt? Narakalakshanat kshatat trayate iti Kshetram. This Kshetram is the tool which is a tool which protects you from going to Naraka. It is also a tool which leads you to Naraka. It can also be a tool which can protect you from Naraka. Shatra. There are two words there, two letters there. Shatra. Kshetram. Then what is it? The Chatat Trayate. Narakalakshanat Trayate iti Kshetram. That is one definition, etymologically. Kshiyate iti Kshetram. Something which declines. Ksharanat Kshetram. Swabhavat Shyutihi. Swaprakrutehi Shyutihi. Shyuti means it slips away from its original nature. That is another definition, Sharanat. Then another thing is, the third one is, Kshetravat karmaphalam dadati. Like a kshetram, like a field. Kshetram, the normal meaning of kshetram is a field. Suppose you have got some piece of land. In that piece of land, you put some mango trees, or you grow some crops, and then that crop will give you some harvest, isn't it? So, Kshetravat phalam dadati. What phalam? Karma phalam. So, this is the Kshetra, and with this Kshetra, you are doing some activity. With this Kshetra, you are doing some activity. And this activity, whether it is a righteous activity or unrighteous activity, it is giving some result according to the nature of your action. So, righteous activity gives some punyam, wrong activity gives some papam. So, like a Kshetra, if you sow a good seed, some good fruit will come. If you sow a bad seed, a bad fruit will come. A poisonous seed, poisonous fruit will come. So like that, Kshetravat karma phalam dadati. So that is why it is called Kshetram. So this Kshetram has so many facets. Kshetrajna. What is this Kshetrajna? Kshetrajna means the one who knows this Kshetra. One who knows this Kshetra means the thing, whatever entity is illumining this Kshetra. This Kshetra, ultimately the highest point in this Kshetra is the mind, isn't it? All other things are gross, much gross. Even mind is jada, it is gross, there is no doubt. But among all the grossest things, this is the finest thing. Among all the grossest things, this is the most brilliant thing. So, this Manaha or Antahkaranam is something which is able to reflect that Brahma Chaitanya. And this Chaitanya is there, it is there illumining all the Antahkaranas of all beings, isn't it? So, if this Chaitanya identifies with this Antahkarana, identifies with this Antahkarana Dharma. Antahkarana Dharma means the properties of this Antahkarana. After all, this Antahkarana has got various properties. What are these properties of this Antahkarana? Kamaha, Sankalpaha, Vichikitsa, Hrir, Dhir, Bhihi, Ityetat Sarvam Mana Eva. We have seen that long definition several times. That is, mind is, it has got so many things like desire, Kamaha, Sankalpaha, it has got some particular will, volition, Dhrutihi, strong determination, Hrihi, Dhihi, Bhihi, all these various emotions which are all there, all these things they are there in the mind. That is the property, that is the characteristic of the mind. So all these things, suppose this Chaitanya associated with this Antahkarana, it is identifying with all these things. It is called Jiva. What is the definition? Antahkarana vachinnam Chaitanyam. Antahkarana tadatmyapannam. So if that thing is if it is identifying itself with that all the properties of this upadhi, Antahkaranam is an upadhi. Another word we have to know is upadhi. This word, of course, that word also is being used here. Upadhi. What is upadhi? Upadhi is something which transfers its attributes. It transfers means not literally transfers. It appears to transfer its properties to something else. Upa means samipe. Samipe sthitva saguna swagunan anyatra prakashayati. That is upadhi. You take a commonest example given is this crystal and some red flower, red rose. A crystal is there, a very, very clear crystal. Red rose is just kept adjacent to that. That crystal also appears red. But strictly speaking, the crystal is not touched by it, but it appears to be touched by it. So that is the example for an upadhi. So this red rose becomes a upadhi for this crystal because it is appearing to transfer its properties to the say crystal. So crystal is still untouched. So like that, the chaitanyam portion of the consciousness is something which is untouched, which is unaffected, which is no change in it. But still, it appears to be affected by these bodily dharmas. It appears to be affected by these antahkarana dharmas. So that is the point here. So that is what is the discussion which is going on. So slowly, where we have come with the analysis of body. We have come with the analysis of body in relation to the universe, etc. We have now come to Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti, and we are now slowly coming into the actual discussion about what exactly is this mind and what is this Antahkarana, what is this Jivatma, Kshetrajna, etc. We are coming to this discussion. So this is the Purvapaksha here. The Purvapaksha here, Nanu Mahimanubhavane Karanam Manaha Anubhavituhu. For this experiencer, the Karanam means a tool, is Manas. Then Tat Katham Swatantriyena Anubhavati. Manaha Swatantraha Karta. That is, Karta is Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is the knower. Again, one more point about Kshetrajna is, if the Jiva associates or rather identifies with this Upadhi Dharma, it is Jiva. If Jiva realizes that all these are Upadhi Dharmas, this is not my Dharma, then he becomes Paramatma. And that is that Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is the illuminer of that body. So this is by way of recapitulating what we saw in 13th chapter. So here, Swatantro hi Kshetrajna. Up to that point is Purvapaksha. Kshetrajna indeed is Swatantra. Then Siddhanti says, Naisha doshaha Kshetrajnasya Swatantrasya Swatantriyasya Mana Upadhi Krutatvat. So this Swatantram or Kartrutvam. Swatantram does not mean independence. Kartrutvam, doership. You do it in that way. You can note it in that way. Swatantram means Kartrutvam. So this Kshetrajnasya Swatantriyasya. Kshetrajnasya Swatantram. That is the word. This Kartrutvam of this Kshetrajna is dependent on this mind being the Upadhi. It is contingent on mind being the Upadhi. If the mind were not to be there, then this Kshetrajna is not a Karta. Kshetrajna is pure intelligence, pure consciousness or Shuddha Chaitanyam. And then in fact, Shuddha Chaitanyam, there is no Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva or anything. So that is what is being told. Nahi Kshetrajna Paramarthatah Swataha Swapiti Jagartiva Mana Upadhi Krutameva Tasya Jagaranam Swapnascha Ityuktam Vajasaneyake. So he is explaining. What is this? Nahi Kshetrajna. This Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna means Chaitanyam, Shuddha Chaitanyam. Paramarthatah, in the absolute sense. In a relative sense, it is a Karta. In a very, very relative sense, when it is identifying itself with the Antahkarana, then it is Jivatma. In a relative sense, it is the Karta. But in the absolute sense, this Chaitanyam has no connection with anything. Paramarthatah Swataha Swapiti Nahi Swapiti Jagartiva. That Na has to be connected here. Na Paramarthatah Swapiti Jagartiva. In reality or in the absolute sense, it does not sleep. There is no question of sleep or awake. It is always there. It is always present. There is no question of seeing and seen. Only that seer-seen relationship also is when in the state of duality. Only when you are in that state of duality, I am seeing this, so that I am seeing this and my and that Vishayi Bhava is there only in the state of duality. When that state of duality is not there, then what remains is Shuddha Chaitanya. It is mere Jnanam only. There is no Jnata Jnayam. Jnata Jnayam, they merge in this Jnanam, that Triputi disappears. So we are going to see that. So the mana upadhi kritameva. This tasya jagaranam swapnascha. Jagaranam means keeping awake. Swapnascha, the dream, is mana upadhi kritam. It is basically brought out by the mind only. Upadhi kritam. It is the effect of the mind only, and not, it is not the property of the chaitanyam. Upadhi kritameva. Iti uktam vajasaneyake. Vajasaneyaka is Brihadaranyaka. Let us read. Sadhi swapno bhutva.
Sadhi swapno bhutva.
Dhyayativa lelayativa.
Dhyayativa lelayatiwa.
Ityadi.
Ityadi.
Sadhihi. We know what is dhihi. Dhihi means buddhi. Manas. Sadhihi means along with buddhi, along with manas. Dhiya saha. Sadhihi means dhiya saha, along with mind. Swapno bhutva. Along with mind who? This Chaitanyam only. Shuddha Chaitanyam or Brahma or Kshetrajna. Sadhihi. Because of association with mind, it is becoming a dream. Then dhyayativa, lelayativa. It is as though it is thinking. It is as though it is moving. So all this thinking, moving, etc., which is appearing in this Chaitanya, it is not the Chaitanya dharma. It is the dharma of the mind. It is the dharma of the antahkarana. It is the property of this antahkarana. So that is what is mentioned in this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 4-3-7 in that thing. Okay, ityadi. Tasman manaso vibhutyanubhave
Manaso vibhutyanubhave
swatantriyavachanam nyayameva.
Swatantriyavachanam nyayameva.
So tasmat, therefore, manasaha vibhutyanubhave, in the context of mind experiencing that vibhuti, in the context of mind experiencing a dream, in which a person becomes a king, in which a person becomes something else, in which a person is speaking to 100 people. So all those things, they are all creations in his mind. In that mahimanubhava, in the experience, while experiencing or in the context of experiencing such mahima or greatness, mind is said to be karta. Kartrutva vachanam or swatantra vachanam means kartrutva vachanam. Swatantra in this particular passage, wherever swatantra comes, you can take it as kartrutva. Vibhutyanubhave kartrutva vachanam nyayameva. Nyayam means according to nyaya. That is logical. It is quite logical. Then another small question arises, another purvapasha. Manaupadhi sahitatve
Manaupadhi sahitatve
swapnakale kshetrajnasya
Swapnakale kshetrajnasya
swayam jyotishvam badhyeta iti kechit.
Swayam jyotishvam badhyeta iti kechit.
Okay, tanna.
Tanna.
Okay. Again the question is like this. Manaupadhi sahitatve swapnakale. Then you are saying this, for example, Kshetrajna is something which is the Swayam Jyoti. Chaitanyam is something which is Swayam Jyoti. Kshetrajna is Swayam Jyoti. Swayam Jyoti, meaning of Swayam Jyoti, again we have to see. Swayam Jyoti is that which is in order to illumine which nothing else is needed. Swayam Prakasha. It is the illuminer of everything, and it is not illumined by anything. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti. We have seen lines like that. That is, because of this consciousness alone, everything else is illumined, and there is nothing to illumine that consciousness. So there is a very famous Ekashloki. Ekashloki, you know that? That is, what is that famous Ekashloki is? When you are awake, what is the thing which enables you to see? That is my eyes, ears, etc., etc. And when you are asleep during night, ratrau means then again chandradikam. During day it is kim jyotistava. That is the line. Kim jyotistava bhanuman ahanime ratrau pradeepadikam. So that is how that shloka goes. Kim jyotistava tava Bhanuman means Surya, Ahani. During this day, it is the sun. And in the light, all my indriyas are working. Then again in the night, then again, okay, moon. When these two are not there, when there is absolute darkness, then okay, somebody is shouting somewhere near, and then my sense organs are still working. And when the sense organs are also withdrawn, then what else? Then this Atma, it gradually leads to mind, and then behind the mind it goes to Ahamasmi Prabho, that is ultimately he says, that is I. So the notion that I exist is something that is the primary basic knowledge, isn't it? So that is Swayam Jyoti. in order to illumine that, no other Jyoti is required. That is the Jyoti which illumines all. So that is the meaning of Swayam Jyoti. So when you are saying that Kshetrajna is a Swayam Jyoti, then you are also saying that it is also having this Mana Upadhi. You, on one hand you are saying that it is Swayam Jyoti. On the other hand you are saying that it is Swayam Jyoti means it does not need any other help. Swayam Jyoti does not need any other help. You are the Ekavira, so you don't need any other help. On the other hand, you are saying that Mana Upadhi. So how is it? Is it not a contradiction? So either you are going against the Shastra, going against your doctrine, or you are unnecessarily postulating that mind is also there. There is no need for the mind at all to exist. So that is the implication. The implication is that mind need not be there. You can as well say that mind is not present at all, need not be present at all. Mana Upadhi Sahitatve means in case you accept this thing called this Upadhi called mind, then Swapnakale Kshetrajnasya Swayam Jyotishvam Badhyeta. That is Badhyeta means it gets negated. You are contradicting. It gets negated. Iti Kechit. Some people say this. So the implication here is that even the mind is not needed. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Maybe. I have not made very clear in the sense that Kshetrajnasya Swayam Jyotishvam, that point you have understood?
Yes.
Kshetrajna, it does not need any other thing to illumine. But here we are saying that there is a Mana Upadhi. And this Manas Upadhi is very much there. Then why do you need this Upadhi when you are a Swayam Jyoti? There is no need for this mind. So of course, Anandagiri has explained this particular point, saying that unless there is something called this Upadhi, mind, you don't even know that whether there is a Jyoti at all. For example, there is electricity. The most present day example is electricity. How do you say that electricity is there or not? Unless there is some Upadhi, unless there is a bulb. So if there is a bulb, then you know that there is a Upadhi. Unless, suppose there is no Upadhi at all. So suppose you say, okay, I will touch it. Then you become the Upadhi. So that is it. So Upadhi is very much there. Unless there is a Upadhi, you will not know. So that is how this mind is something which is very much needed in order to know. Manayeva Manushyanam Sadhanam Bandha Mokshayoho. Apart from the Bandha Moksham is understanding also. Understanding the truth is only by the mind. And we see the same thing in Kenopanishad also. Pratibodha Viditam Matam. That is, in every cognition, you are seeing the presence of that Brahma. Every cognition indicates that there is something which is illumining. So that is it. Anandagiri actually he explains it. Atmani Jyotishtva Bodhanatmaka Vyavaharasya Prakashyadi Sapetshatvat. So this Prakashyatvam, Prakashyadi Sapetshatvat. So if you want to say that Atma is Jyotishtva Swabhavam, then there is something which has to lead to that. Then how? Tasminneva tad bodha sadhane manadaucha satyeva tad bodhayitum shakyate. Manadaucha satyeva. It is only when the mind is there. Tad bodhayitum shakyate. It is possible to understand. It is only when the mind is present, then only you will know that there is something which is illuminor. Otherwise, if the mind is not there, how can you know? So that is why you can't negate the presence of mind. Mind will be there. That is the meaning. Badhyeta iti chet tanna. Let us see the reply. Tanna shrutyartha parijnana kruta bhrantis tesham.
Shrutyartha parijnanakrita bhrantitesham.
Bhrantis tesham. Yasmat swayam jyotishtwadi vyavaharopi.
Swayam jyotishtwadi vyavaharopi.
Jyotishtwadi.
Swayam jyotishtwadi vyavaharopi.
Amokshantaha.
Amokshantaha.
Sarvaha avidya vishaye eva.
Sarvaha avidya vishayeva.
Manadyupadhi janitaha.
Manadyupadhi janitaha.
This is a very strong, very dense statement. Shrutyartha aparijnana kruta bhrantihi tesham. This tesham bhrantihi, their delusion is only because they have not properly understood the meaning of Shruti. That is the point. Shrutyartha aparijnana. Aparijnanam, opposite of parijnanam. Parijnanam is understanding. Aparijnanam is lack of understanding. Shrutyartha aparijnana kruta bhrantihi. This bhranti is because of this lack of understanding of the meaning of Shruti. You have not properly understood this Shruti. So it means, Yasmat, because Swayam Jyotishtvam this Swayam Jyotishvam of this Manas or Kartrutvam of this Manas which is mentioned here. Kartrutvam of, we are not talking about the Kartrutvam of Atma. Swayam Jyotishvam of this particular, now we are talking about the mind. Swayam Jyotishtwadi Vyavaharaha, mind is this, it is able to see this, it is able to see that, etc. Is only all this Vyavahara, all this transaction, all this action, let us say, Amokshantaha, it is only till a person realizes. It is only till a person realizes. All this Vyavahara is only till a person realizes. Once the person realizes, then all this disappears. Because all that duality disappears. So that is what he is going for following it. Yasmat Swayam Jyotishtwadi Vyavaharopi, all this Vyavahara is Amokshantaha, till a person attains moksha. That is, till a person realizes. You know that moksha is not a place to go. It is basically an understanding. It is realization. Amokshantaha means till realization takes place. Then sarvaha avidya vishayeva. All this is in the realm of avidya. It is in the realm of ignorance. Avidya. Avidya means improper understanding, wrong understanding. Then manadi upadhi janitaha. This is basically because of this upadhi called mind. Something which is brought out by the upadhi called mind. And otherwise it is not correct. So that is how we will again read the line tomorrow and we will again further discuss. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi